recording. The good news is that for the next 1 or 2 weeks, we are mostly doing revision or working actually with what we've done. So if you have any problems and you want to go back on a particular subject, then just say, and we can spend some time doing this. And then I think maybe next week or the week after, we will do that assessment that I talked about. Yeah. And then you can focus your own learning on the areas that you're not so strong in. That's it, Luke. You're being tested. Bring out the
on what? On what?
Bring out the metal flexible pipe. Steel eel.
I'll have to steal it from Hilde.
Okay, so let us just go over what we did last week, and then we'll move on to the revision work. Did you see my message this morning, Nathan? I just sent something about what I'm going. Okay, doesn't matter.
Okay, that's finished.
Okay, so last week we looked at the passive form to say how somebody can be affected by somebody else. So, for example, the funny example here, you killed Kenny, or you could say Kenny was killed by you. So this puts the focus on the thing that is affected by an action. So for the typical example is my wallet was a thief stole my wallet. A thief stole my wallet. Or I could put my attention on the wallet and say my wallet was stolen by a thief. So this is what we call speaking in the passive voice. Yeah, used to focus on the person or the thing who the action affected. For example, Wayne, I could say Wayne ate my sushi. This is an example of an active voice, speaking in the active voice. To say this in the passive voice, I would say my sushi was eaten by Wayne. So we've got a slight change of order, slight change of articles before nouns. So if I put these two sentences into the Japanese structure, the active voice would say, Wayne-san ga watashi no sushi o tabemashita. But putting this into the passive voice, we basically just do a little change round of particles. So I mark the person who did the crime with ni, mark the item that's affected by it with ga, and then I change the verb from the active verb to the passive verb. So we can call these agency, is the person or the doer, the person who's carrying out the action. The thing which is effective is the object, as always marked with ga, and then we have the verb in the passive form. Any questions so far? Everybody okay? Excellent.
Just real quick,
yeah, sure.
How does politeness work in this voice? Because if I was saying, say I was conjugating harao, would I say something like hara wa waremashita? Yes. Or would I say hara wareta?
Okay, so it depends on the situation you're in. If you are talking to a person who is close or similar level, where you can have a casual conversation with them, then this would become hara wareta. So you actually reduce the politeness level of the final verb itself to bring the whole sentence down.
Okay.
Yeah. If you were talking about, for example, the president of our company awarded me a medal, or I was awarded a medal by the president of our company, then you might talk about the president's actions in a higher level of politeness, not by changing it from plain form into mass form, but you'd use keigo for their actions. That would be something like odashi shimashita, something, or watashi shimashita, and then you could put that shimashita into the plain form and say sareta or watashi sareta to honorize the president, but to the person you're talking to about it, you can talk casually. You kind of have to have one brain thinking about who you're reporting on, one brain thinking about the person you're saying it to. Yeah, that's where it gets a little confusing. Okay, so to transform these verbs, for group 1 verbs, we turn them into the negative form. So we move the final syllable up to the a level. We don't add nai, we remove the nai, and we put reru on the end. So iku will become ikareru. Iku, ikareru. So if you just remember this one model, the same rules apply for all group 1 verbs. So just memorize iku and ikareru. For group 2, it's a little bit simpler. We remove the ru and put rareru on the end. So this is exactly the same as the potential form. Yeah, exactly, the ability form. And then we have to just memorize the 2 group 3s. Suru becomes sareru and kuru becomes korareru. Bear in mind, guys, that this will often be used as a report of something which has happened. So this will quite often be in the past tense. Not always, but mostly in the past tense. And we can use, you don't have to worry about this now, but we can use passive verbs. Excuse me a second, I'm just going to put my phone on mute, it's very noisy. We can use passive verbs in a normal active sentence structure to make politeness. So, for example, if I wanted to say to my teacher, "Are you going to Tokyo tomorrow?" In the normal voice, in the normal politeness level, I would say, "Ashita sensei ga Tokyo ni ikimasu ka?" But I can use exactly the same sentence structure and just change the verb into the passive voice, and it makes it more polite, more indirect. Sensei ga ashita Tokyo ni, and then I've just changed the verb into ikaremasu ka. And this is now making it a little bit more gentle. Okay, let us, so how about Kenny? So how would we express this sentence? So let's see. Luke, how would you do this in the active voice? You killed Kenny, using all of the actual words like anata, etc. You're muted at the moment, or you're just speaking Belgian silently. you're expressing all the Belgian consonants.
I don't find all these jokes about Belgians any funny anymore.
Me neither.
Is it because you're accidentally in France now that they moved the borders? Have you heard about that?
Oh my God, you're French now.
Farmer accidentally moved the borders while, with a tractor. No, look.
Okay, then I will speak with a French accent. I will try.
Just you wait till Ramon arrives. He will have words to say about your ridiculous French accent.
Ce n'est pas vrai, mais non. So Kenny.
So you killed Kenny. Let's do the active voice first.
あなたが、ケニーを、killed, 殺し
Coronavirus しました。Yeah, 殺しました。殺しました。
殺しました。
Yeah, good. And then
殺す。
Yeah, korosu is a group 1 verb. And then Yanis, how would you turn this into the passive voice?
It's one moment.
Mm-hmm.
It's Kenny-san ni.
No. He's the person who's receiving.
Oh, yes, sorry.
Yeah.
It's Kenny-san ga.
Yeah.
anata ga ni,
No, just anata ni, anata ni.
anata ni, yes, anata ni, koro sare raremashita.
That's too many rares. Korosaremashita. Korosaremashita.
It's difficult for me to say, sorry.
That's okay.
It is korosu.
Good.
So means korosanai, korosaremashita.
Perfect. Korosaremashita.
I
Excellent.
put too many things.
Yeah. only one too many.
Yeah.
Cool.
Andy, does it matter which comes first, the ni or the ga in the sentence structure, the agent or the subject?
No, it's absolutely fine to have the object and the agency switched around.
Okay.
Yeah. So really the only, hi Sophie, really the only critical thing is if you are going to mark a topic, for example, the one that I was talking to Nathan about on text earlier was if I wanted to say my wallet was stolen by a thief, I could express this as watashi no saifu ga dorobo ni nusumaremashita. So I could say my wallet was stolen, but I could say I had my wallet stolen by a thief as well. So in this case, it would be watashi wa, this needs to go at the beginning. Saifu ga, that can go anywhere. Dorobo ni, that can go anywhere. Nusumaremashita. But obviously, if I just say the words saifu, dorobo, and the verb, that it's implied that it's my wallet if I don't actually say whose wallet it is. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. One last thing to kind of play with, on the basis that group 2 verbs in the passive form are the same as the potential verb, we can just see in this sentence how to distinguish between it being an ability statement, a potential statement, or a passive statement. So for example, I could eat sushi. I was able to eat sushi, and the sushi was eaten by me. Both used taberaremasu or taberaremashita in this case. But in the first case, this is watashi wa sushi ga taberaremashita. But in the passive voice, the sushi was eaten by me. The only thing that changes is this particle. Watashi ni sushi ga taberaremashita. So just the change of that critical particle changes the meaning of the sentence. So where we don't have the agency, for example, if you just said sushi ga taberaremashita, this one sentence, from the sentence itself, you cannot tell which one it is. You have to know from context. Okay, any questions, guys? Everybody good? Everybody happy?
Can I ask something? I
Of
think
course.
it was can we also imply the agency, or like if we would say, for example, with the example with the of the thief and the wallet, can we just say my wallet was stolen? I mean, you can imply the agency. You don't always have to mention it, right?
Of course, yeah, for sure. I mean, by definition, if your wallet was stolen, it was stolen by a thief,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, of course.
Because you said also your example left out the wallet, that it was my wallet. You just said maybe that the wallet was stolen, and we would imply that it's my wallet.
Exactly, yeah.
But we can also imply the agency. And
Of course, yeah, for sure. So, for example, to say, if you walked up to the table and you looked down and you went, sushi ga taberaremashita, then this is kind of saying, the sushi's been eaten. And then, I mean,
possibly not by you.
Possibly not by me. Probably not by me if I said taberaremashita. Yeah, exactly. Okay.
I did,
go ahead.
just real quick, I did a couple of the examples that you put on the Facebook group. Could I just run through them both real quick?
Sure. Let me write them down, Nathan. Hang on. Let me just turn the the whiteboard on. And
Do you want the English that I did first or the Japanese attempt first?
let's do the Japanese first, and let's see if people can understand what they are.
Kagi o kakenatora, suyoi kaze ni doa ga akeraremasu.
Can you just do it one more time slowly, please, Nathan?
Kagi o kakenatora,
Kakenatara.
kakenatora,
Right, Tsuyoi
suyoi
kaze
kaze ni doa ga akeraremasu.
akeraremasu. Can I just make a little correction, then it'll make it easier to translate. Kakenakatara. There we go. Is that what you wrote originally?
No, I just have kakenatora.
So this would be kakenakatara.
Okay.
Kakenakatara. Okay. Constantina, what does this say? It's now correct.
That the door was closed by the strong wind.
No.
It was locked.
But look at this, the form of this verb.
It's the Terraform potential, no potential, conditional.
Yeah. So actually, there should be a moshi.
Moshi,
Really,
yes.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So. If the wind closed, if you don't close the door, the wind will. I think I'm missing a verb. Akeru is to open. To open. If you don't lock the door will open by the strong wind.
Yeah, the door will be opened by the strong wind. Good. And the next one, Nathan?
Shurui yasano.
Sorry, furui.
Wait, hang on. Let me double check something because I think I misspelled something.
Oh, okay. I thought it was your strange Irish accent. Look at John, look up then. It's like, what?
I hadn't detected one.
Yeah, I had just thrown a word in there that made no sense whatsoever.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's very Irish, yeah.
Shurui, which is spelled S-H-U-R-U-I.
S-H-U-R-U-I. Shurui.
Yeah.
Shurui.
Kaike ga depato chifu, which is Japanese, I made up.
Depato, let's say kacho, right? Kacho. Yeah.
Ni yasashiku
Oh, good.
harawaremashita.
Harawaremashita. Yeah, good. Shurui.
Apparently it means drinks.
Shurui. So this word is usually used to mean shurui, types. It's probably a different kanji, but in common use, shurui means types or categories. Let's have a quick look. Shurui. Yeah, so sorry, go ahead. Yeah, I can see. Yeah. So I mean, these aren't on AUDIX, they're not in any order of rarity, but I can see shurui is there as well for alcoholic drinks. Although I think this actually means again, shurui, yeah, this shurui that you're using, this means the category of alcoholic drinks, rather than drinks themselves, rather just like the drinks. So for this, I would put this in as nomimono no.
Nomimono no.
Yeah. Yeah. Oui.
Mono, right?
One more time.
Nomimono, not nominono.
Oh, sorry. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Nomimono. John, would you like to translate this?
I'm sort of cheating because I kind of remember the example. I think this is
Oh, that's right. Okay.
the department chief kindly paying for the drinks. So yeah.
Or it should be really not to literally translate this. This would be the bill was, but yeah, the drinks bill was paid for by the department's chief. The drinks bill was paid for kindly by the deputy chief. Good. Okay. Cool. Right, we're going to have another run through of the examples from last week. Go ahead, Luke.
I'm just having a little problem with the first sentence with the kakenakatara, where the kagi is a lock.
Yes.
And kakenakatara, if the verb, I'm having trouble with.
Okay. So to lock a
kakeru?
door, to lock a door, I'm not sure how relevant this is these days, but it used to be when I was learning Japanese originally, when dinosaurs ruled the earth. It would be kagi o kakeru. Kakeru.
Lock the lock.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, or lock the key. So kagi actually originally was a hook that went over into a kind of loop, and kakeru was to hang. So you hang the hook over the loop. So this is the original meaning of locking the door.
Yeah, because I was confused with as Constantina said, shimeru is close.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So shimeru it just means literally to close the door. Doesn't infer necessarily that you've locked it.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Any other questions, guys? Let's do some stuff. Just find the page. Right, I won't do the first one then. Let's do the rest of these. Let's start from the bottom and work up. Effie, would you like to do this first one? The young girl was found in the forest by the soldiers.
女性が forest.
So it's a person's name. You'll kick yourself when you remember.
Mori.
Mori.
Mori ni.
De.
So first I will put by the soldiers, if I would know that. Soldiers. Gunshi?
Gunshi is one word. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There's like 5 different ways of saying soldiers in Japanese.
Seihei. Also, I don't know.
Seihei. I don't know. There's lots of words. Okay. Heishi, Guntaijin, Gunjin, Gunshi. There's lots.
So Gunshi ni 女性が森で見つけられました。
Very good. Excellent. Well done. And then John. Oh, you did one before, didn't you, John? Nathan. His lies were. All right, let's do it in the order of the screen, actually, otherwise I'll get confused. John, his lies were believed by the entire population.
I feel due to my lack of vocabulary, maybe if you left me alone with the dictionary for 30 seconds, I could do this.
Okay, so which word are you not sure on?
So almost everything.
Okay.
Especially the structure might be okay, but the words probably not so much.
So lies are uso. Uso. And believe.
Shinjiru.
Shinjiru, good.
Oh, sorry. Oh.
Okay, all right. That's all right. Group 2. And population is, if it's the entire population, whole population, this is Zenjinko. If it's just population by itself, Then this is Jinko. Jinko-u, actually. Jinko-u. A funny character, this. It's the character for person and mouth, which is weird. Let me show you. Jinko. Jinko. There we go. So this looks like the word for person entrance, person door, but it means population. So this is person, and this is mouth or doorway. Jinko.
So
sorry.
Go ahead.
But is the kanji is the enclosure, the people within an enclosure?
Oh no, this isn't enclosure. This is supposed to be mouth. Yeah. Or entrance, or door. Okay, John, over to you.
Okay, so Zenjinko ni kare no uso ga shinji-raremashita.
Shinji-raremashita. Very good. Excellent. Good. Nathan, in the Iaido team final last year, Spain lost to Belgium. I've tried to throw in as many words as possible into the shorter sentence.
What is the word for team final? Like what I call that?
This is Dantai Sen, not Kesho Sen. Or actually, this could probably be made Dantai, not Kesho Sen is probably better.
No.
Can I take a minute before we continue?
Sure.
What is Japanese for Iaido?
It's Iwasu. So sorry, Tachi, did you mean you want to ask a question?
Yeah, don't we need a ga after uso?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, it's all good. Okay, back to you, Nathan.
Kyonen no Iaido Dantai no Kesho Sen de Belgium ga Spain ni, whatever the word for lost is.
Spain ni. So it is makeru. This
Makeru.
is another group 2 verb.
Makeraremashita.
Good, yeah. Makeraremashita. Excellent.
Should be the other way around.
Belgica. You mean just in reality?
No, no, but I mean, if isn't
Oh, it
the
should be,
agency?
yeah. Yes, you're right. Actually, yeah. So this should be Belgi ni Spain ga, right?
I feel personally attacked.
Yeah. Spain lost to Belgium. Yeah, that's right. Well spotted.
Yeah, I
Cool.
wasn't sure which was the agent in that sentence.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Let's move on to Tachi. We'll move this one to the end for a second, and we'll do this one instead. This Haori was often worn by the emperor on his birthday.
Ooh. And what is emperor?
Tenno. Tenno. Ooh, I think, rather than just tenno. Hang on, let's have a quick look.
No. Tenno ni.
Tenno. Tenno ni.
Kono haori ga.
Good. Kono haori ka.
Yoku
Good.
ki was it group 1 or 2?
It's group 2.
Group 2. Kiraremashita.
Kiraremashita. And where would you put birthday in there?
Yeah, on his birthday. Otanjoubi de.
So actually, you can do otanjobi ni again because this is a time reference. So we mark time references with ni. Yeah.
Hi.
So this has got, yeah, Tenno ni o tanjoubi ni kono haori ga yoku kirarimashita. Cool.
Sorry, Sensei.
Go ahead.
In this, may we put Tenno no Tanzobi?
Exactly, we can. Yes, it's implied that it's worn by him. Yeah, exactly. Okay, Yanis, you're next, actually. As I expected, the door was suddenly closed by the strong wind.
I think I know nothing about this.
Okay,
So,
this phrase here, as I expected, this is, I just wanted to introduce this. This is yappari, yappari.
So this is an adjective. What is this? Yappari.
It's a kind of adverb.
Adverb.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, yappari doa ga strong wind is sorry. Strong wind. Try to remember what is strong
so
wind.
Strong is tsioi. Tsioi, it's the adjective. And then wind is kaze.
So it's doa ga tsuyoi kaze ni.
Kaze ni.
And close with
Shimeru. This is a group 2.
So it is shiraremasta.
Yes, good. Shimerarimashita. Excellent. Luke, the history article was studied by the researchers.
Just a question. As I expected, where does this return in the sentence?
This
or
is
it all covered by the yappari?
As yappari.
It's not suddenly.
Sorry, it was I didn't see suddenly in there. Right, okay. So doa ga. So there's a couple of words you can use for suddenly. The most common one is totsuzen. The second one is ikinari. And you don't need to mark these with a particle. You can just put them in because they are adverbs themselves. And this is more about somebody doing something suddenly, which is nukiuchi ni.
Yeah.
It's quite if you're into that kind of thing, it's quite interesting that lots of these kind of adverbs have got very illustrative kanji for them. So for example, yappari and totsuzen, and also this other word, so yappari is as expected, totsuzen is suddenly, and another one which is atarimai, which means atarimai, of course. You kanjify these, yappari, yahari. This is sometimes pronounced yahari. There we go. Yahari, and then totsuzen. And then atarimai. 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 Yeah. Okay, so this first one, yappari.
Yes.
Somebody recognize it?
Arrow.
Arrow, yeah.
Arrow. And it's a long bow.
So it means to stretch. Means to stretch. Arrow stretched. So it's like, as you expected, if you have an arrow pointing at something and you stretch the arrow, it lands at a place as you'd expect if you extend the arrow.
Mhm.
And then Totsuzen.
I don't know. The second one is natural.
Good, yeah. This is, so Totsu. Any Kendoka here should be able to tell me what this one is. This one, Totsu.
I don't know it. I had to search it. It says pierce, thrust.
This is ski. Yeah, ski.
Yeah, it's ski.
Ski.
Yes, it's from here. Oh.
I'm just going to delete some of this stuff a second. Ski, thrust. And then, as you said, Luke, this is the nature of. So to be suddenly hit, bang, with a thrust. And then atarimae, of course.
Atari is to arrive or correct.
Yeah, it means to contact, to touch or contact, yeah.
Atemi.
And then, yes, exactly, yeah. And then mae is before.
Front.
Yeah, front or before. So just before it makes contact, you can see that something, of course, is going to hit something because it's just before contact. Atarimae.
So my sentence was: the history article was studied by the researchers.
Yeah.
Okay. First problem, vocabulary.
Which words are you struggling with?
All of them.
Okay, so
The
history.
article is history.
History is rekishi. Guys, actually, why don't you let me call you guys forwards? Guys, help me out here. What is? Oh, sorry, sir. I didn't notice you were there. What's history, guys?
Rekishi.
Rekishi. Article.
Kiji.
Kiji. Yeah. Research is
Shoe, something shoe.
Oh, it's normally kenkyu.
Kenkyu.
So researchers.
Suru.
Yep, good. And
To
researchers would be
Kenkyusha.
Kenkyusha, good. Kenkyusha. And then the studied, I'm sure you know, don't you?
Narabu.
Yep. So Narabu, so did you say Manabu or Narabu?
Manabu.
Manabu. So this means learn. Study would be
Benkyo.
Benkyo, yeah, exactly.
Rishiki no Kiji ga Kenkyusha ni Benkyo saremashita.
Saremashita, excellent, good. Well done, good. All right, let me bring Sophie in here because I completely didn't see that she was there. Sophie, I was taught how to repair cars by my father when I was younger.
Oh, okay. So getting all the words now. Teach Sieru.
Yeah.
No car, kuruma, chichi, father. When I was younger.
So there's a few words of saying this.
Toki.
You probably think that you'd say something like wakai toki, which you can use. This would be understood, but it sounds funny to Japanese people to say this because it now implies that you are old. So instead of you're not. So what they usually say is you say chisai toki, when I was small.
Yeah, chisai toki.
Yeah. Or you could say kodomo no koro. At the koro means the era, the time at which, and then this is of course when I was a child.
And repair is something with the chuku, I think.
So you can use naosu is one way of saying this.
Yeah, naosu.
But this is kind of a very plain way, a very plain. The word which is usually used for cars is shurisuru. Shurisuru.
When I was younger, so we could start to Chisaitoki. That's the easy. Chisaitoki. Or my father, Chichi no. Okay, Chichi
No, not there. Not there.
Chichi no. My father.
No, not no. We're doing the passive form. So the person who is doing the thing, Chichi ni. Yeah. Chichi ni.
Chichi ni. Oshieta.
So let's come back to the final verb later. What are they teaching you? This part here.
How to repair car? Kuruma no. Suri. It's Suri Shita.
Not shita, but remember how to do something. Is
Kata.
Yeah. So shuri shikata.
Oh yes, I have flashbacks. They come and go.
I know the feeling.
Surikata. What were repair cars? Yes, I was taught. I'm looking at what was taught. Surikata.
Yep.
Yes, it's another. Oshierare mashita.
Very good.
Yeah, oshierare.
Oshierare mashita. Sorry, my Zoom has stopped me from typing extra stuff. Mashita. Cool, good. Right, let's just take a stop a second, and because I need to delete some of the stuff on this page because it's not letting me type anymore. So let's read these together, shall we? Is that your daughter playing piano, Sophie? That's very nice. Come back to that one later. Okay, let's do this one first. So guys, can I ask you to follow a routine? This is supposed to be a good way of memorizing this. I'm going to point to each one. I want you to read the English first, so you know what it says you understand it in your own language. Then I will read out the Japanese, and then I'd like you to read to say it out. If you can, try not to look at the screen. Try and look away. If you get lost, then look back at the screen, but try to just hear the words and then say them. Okay, so the first one, I was taught how to repair cars by my father when I was younger. Chisai toki, chichi ni kuruma no shuri shikata o oshieraremashita. Hai, dozo.
小さい時、父に車を修理し方を教えられました。
Guys, can you unmute yourselves so I can clearly hear a few of you and not all of you? Okay. The history article was studied by the researchers. So, 歴史の記事が研究者に勉強されました。
歴史の記事が
研究者に勉強されました。
As I expected, the door was suddenly closed by the strong wind. やっぱりドアが強い風に閉められました。
やっぱりドアが強い風に閉まれました。
閉められました。
閉められました。
Yeah, good. This haori was often worn by the emperor on his birthday. 天皇にお誕生日にこの羽織がよく着られました。 kiraremashita.
天皇
に誕生日に羽織
この羽織
を
が
着られました。
よく着られました。
In the Iaido team final last year, Spain lost to Belgium. 去年の団体の決勝戦でベルギーにスペインが負けられました。
去年の団体の決勝でスペインがベルギーに負けられました。
His lies were believed by the entire population. 全人口に彼の嘘が信じられました。
全人口に彼の嘘が信じられました。
軍師に女性が森で見つけられました。
軍師に女性が森で見つけられました。
Okay. Yes, go ahead.
Sorry, is the difference between Mori and Hayashi?
Usually people don't use the word Hayashi at all except to talk about somebody. So if a tree is 1,
key.
Exactly, this is a key. If a tree is 2 plus, this automatically becomes a forest.
Mori.
Yeah.
I mean, a garden.
Of course, if it's like 3 or 4 trees, then you can say this is Hayashi. But usually it's either trees, just ki without actually saying much more, or mori. So it's either very few trees or lots of trees, ki or mori.
Nothing in between.
No, not really. I think when you talk about a forest of bamboo, I've heard this used
because
takebayashi. Yeah, and you can have the forest of bamboo, takemori. These are all kind of words I've heard before, but when we're talking about trees, normally it's either very few or lots of. I don't know why. Okay, so guys, we're going to come away from this exercise because we're going to do for the next hour, we're going to do a kind of revision of stuff, which will include passive form as well. So let's start off with this little exercise, which some of you will have done before. So for each verb that I assign you, I want you to tell me the infinitive, the te form, the polite form, which means the mass form, the potential form, the ability form, this is, the experience, ta koto ga arimasu, the obligative, nakareba narimasen, the passive, the one we just done, and don't worry about the example for now. Let's just do these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 forms of the word. Okay, so we'll start off with a round of group 1s. Okay, yeah, let's see, hang on a second, let me just move my screen around slightly. Yanis, to rest.
To rest. Rest is,
actually, I've got a better idea. Guys, I'm going to assign you one each now, and you've got a minute to create all of these forms. So Yanis, yours is going to be to rest. Luke, you can do to learn. Effie, you can do to wear on your head. Oops, to wear on your head. John, you can do to lend. Nathan, you can do to inhale. Tachi, you can do to cry. And Sophie, you can do to sell. Okay, if you don't know the verb, use your dictionary. Go.
I'm sorry, I was away. What were we doing?
We are just, oh, let me give you a verb, Constantina. You can do to pass back. To pass back, I'd like you to create the infinitive, the test form, the polite, the potential, the experience, the obligative, and the passive. Don't worry about the example. Okay, everybody good? Everybody okay? Ready to go? No? Okay, give you 30 seconds more, John.
I only got the infinitive, the te, the mass, potential, experience, obligative, and which was seventh?
The passive. It's written on the screen.
Passive.
Yeah.
Oh, there. Yeah, and your faces are covering it.
That's the problem, you see. If everybody was just killed, then they wouldn't be a problem.
By Kenny.
By Kenny, yeah.
I always struggle with what experience.
So this is past form, plain past form, ta, and then koto ga arimasu. John, you're looking worried. Pensive, some might say. Or pensive.
Yeah, this wheel's turning, but they're not connected.
Okay. Which one are you having problems with?
I don't know. It's more I'm doubting myself rather than everything's written down.
Oh, okay.
Whether it's correct or not, we'll find out soon.
Nothing wrong with self-doubt. I live my life on it. Nathan, did you say something because you're muted?
I'm just talking to myself.
Oh, okay. Best chance for intelligent conversation.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, guys, let's have a go. Doesn't matter if it's not perfect because we're going to have lots of practice doing this, aren't we, ladies? Okay, so Yanis, would you like to go first?
Yeah. Nemuru.
Nemuru.
Sleep.
This is to sleep. Okay, but let's go for Nemuru. This is fine. This is a good one.
Okay. It's nemute.
Nemute. Good.
nemimas,
No. Nemuru, this is a group 1 verb. So the ru becomes ri, nemurimasu.
nemurimas. Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry,
That's okay.
nemurimas. The
Potential.
nemueru,
One more time.
nemueru.
Nemureru. Okay, good. Nemureru. Yep. Experience.
And the other is nemuta, koto ga arimasu.
Good. Okay.
And nemaranakereba narimasen.
Nemuranakereba narimasen.
Nemuranakereba narimasen.
Yeah.
And nemurareru.
Yes, good. Nemurareru. Okay, good. Luke, your one?
Was to learn. Manabu. Manande.
Good.
Manaimas.
No, manabu would become
Bimas.
Bimas. Good.
Manabimas. Yeah. Manab. Oh, das ist ein Infinitiv. The mass for potential is the manaberu.
Yes, good. Manaberu. Good.
Manaberu. Manab.
I think you might have missed. You might have missed the te form, Luke.
Manamde.
Manande. Good.
Manamde. Manamda koto ga arimasu.
Good.
Manan nakereba narimasen.
Sorry, one more time, Luke.
Manan nakereba.
I know. So this would be mana. If you turn this into the negative, plain negative, what would you say?
Manabanai.
Manabanai. So this.
Manabana. Manabakereba.
Yep.
Manabakereba.
Manabanakereba. Manabanakereba.
Manabanai. Manabanakereba. Manabanakereba narimasen.
Yes, good.
And manabareru.
Yes, good. Manabareru. Excellent. Whoo.
Manan.
And Effie. Hello.
Oh. I have the two were on the head.
Yes.
So kaburu. Kabutte.
Good.
Kaburimasu.
Yes.
Kabureru. Kabutta koto ga arimasu.
Hai.
Kaburanakereba narimasen.
Hai.
Kaburareru.
It's good. Excellent. Well done. John.
Kasu, to lend. So kashite. Kashimasu.
Yep.
Kaseru.
Good.
Kashita koto ga arimasen. And kasa nakereba narimasen.
Excellent.
And kasareru.
Very good. Kasareru. Yeah, good. Perfect. Well done. Nathan?
To inhale, su.
Good.
Sute.
Yep.
Suimasu.
Yep.
Sueru.
Good.
Sueba.
Ba. We've got experience next, actually, but sueba would have been correct if ba was there.
Right. Suta koto ga arimasu.
Good.
Sua nakereba narimasen.
Good.
And suwareru.
Very good. Excellent. Well done. Tachi, your one?
Naku.
Which one was yours again, sorry?
Naite.
Oh, naku. Right. To cry. Yeah.
Naku. Naite. Naimasu.
No.
Nakare.
Naku. So naku would, in the mass form, would be
I don't know.
Nakimasu.
Nakimasu.
Yeah.
はい。My big point is conjugation. 泣かれる？泣いたことがあります。
Yep. All good so far?
泣かれるました。
Sorry, you broke off a bit there. Can you go back to the obligative, please?
Obligative. 泣かなければなりません。
Good, exactly. And the passive was?
泣かれました。
Yes, good. Nakareru. Good. And Sophie?
Okay. To sell, uru.
Good.
Te utte.
Good.
Urimas.
Mm-hmm.
Polite. Potential ureru.
Good.
Utta kotobarimas.
Good.
Experience. Obligative. Ore nakereba narimasen.
Mm-hmm. Ura ne? Ura nakereba.
Yeah, ure nakereba narimasen. And passive urareru.
Very good. Well done. Perfect. And Constantina?
Okay, I had to pass back modosu.
Oh, okay. Yeah, modosu is good.
Which one you wanted?
I was thinking kaisu, but modosu is also.
Okay. Kaisu, I thought it was to give back something that was lended to. Anyway.
Yeah.
So it's both with the su.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah.
So modoshimasu.
Good.
Modoste.
Mm-hmm.
Modoseru.
Yep.
The potential. Modoshita koto ga arimasu.
Yep.
Modosanakereba narimasen.
Good.
Modosareru.
Very good. Well done. Perfect. Good. Okay, let's do some. Actually, before we move on, guys, what I'd like to do is just do a little bit of vivisection on verbs for a second, as we did on the same stage of this last time. Here. No, let's do it somewhere else. Hang on. Okay, let's have a little bit of free expression, shall we? The anatomy of verbs. So with group 1 verbs, actually before we get into that, all verbs have a stem and a suffix. Stem never changes. Suffix always changes. Let's start with group 2 verbs first. This is definitely the easiest one. Let's use our typical group 2 verb, which is taberu, to eat. The stem is tabe, that's the stem, and the suffix, of course, is ru. Sorry, I should say here, guys, this is for group 2. The stem never changing is group 2 point first.
Does it change in the group 1?
It does, yeah.
Iku.
But if we take as stem the kanji never changes.
Yeah.
So
It's kind of slightly mixed up, really, because there is, what I want to say was that there's a part of, for example, in the anatomy of ikimasu, this is really made out of 3 parts. There's a stem, which doesn't change, and then there's this kind of mid stem, and then there's the actual suffix. So group ones and group 3s are a little bit kind of tricky. Oops. So we'll just look at group 2 for a second. So the important point is that for group 2, I've already said it, but I'm going to say it again. Stem never changes. Stem never changes. Don't change this bit. Sorry, just write it in there. Don't change the stem. This is really important. You identify the bit which does not change. Okay. Group 2. Sorry, group 1 rather. Right, so these kind of follow the same rules. Again, there's a stem and there's a suffix, and I talk about this mid-stem. This is a kind of changing part, and then there's kind of a suffix. So you have to just be a little bit more flexible about it. But you can be sure that the final syllable always changes. So this is the kind of the suffix, kind of this mid-stem really. So the ku. Let's do kayasu, ao, manabu, let's throw a long one in there, and sosogu. There we go. So in each case, if we grab the final syllable, not the final letter, of course. Remember, the Japanese syllabary is made out of syllables, not just letters. So ku, su. Now, how about this one? Ao. Well, this is made up of 2 vowels or 2 syllables, a and u. So in this case, it's not 2 letters, it's only 1. It's u. U and ku. And then we're left with I, kai, a, mana. And soso. 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 So this is the stem that again doesn't change. This again stem doesn't change, and then this suffix, or let's call it a suffix for now then, because we can just say that it becomes imas, for example. The suffix must change again. So what is important really at the moment is that you identify the stem which is not going to change. Don't change the stem. Don't change the stem. Stem. Don't change the stem. Keep this exactly the same. Okay. So for every verb in group 1, you should be able to look at it and say, right, that part is indestructible. It's not changeable. You've got to keep this part as it is. Only this last part I'm going to change, okay, depending on the verb. Finally, group 3. Of course, these are slightly more tricksy in that the entire word changes. Suru becomes shimasu. Kuru becomes kimasu. Can't even rely on the u becoming shi, because in some cases it doesn't happen either. For example, the passive of suru is sareru. So they think, okay, in that case, kuru should be kareru, right? No. Korareru. Exactly, yeah, korareru. So we just have to memorize, unfortunately for group 3, we just have to memorize all these different transformations. Any questions, guys?
I know
what to do.
we're gonna struggle for eternity. Is the
Not eternity. Not eternity. Maybe only 30 years. No. Honestly, with my the entire how can I say, the entire logic of this learning system that we're using in these classes, this logic based on Michel Thomas' language system, is to overcome the grammar first. So it's to identify and master the fundamental rules of the grammar, instead of being inundated with lots of words and trying to remember, and what do I do with ikimasu? What do I do with tabimasu? What do I do with shimasu? Instead of doing this, learn the fundamental rules first. And then it's much easier to construct it on the spot. It might take a little bit of time, but once you can actually do correct transformation and correct construction, all you need to do is practice. So think, for example, how you teach somebody to do iaido. What you don't do is show them all 12 kata and say, right, just copy me. Let's just do just copy me. Let's go all the way through once each form, and then we'll just spend the next 30 years doing this. This is silly to do it like this. Much better to teach fundamental parts and say, this is what Noto is. This is what the Kitsuke is, even without using the words for them. So this is the draw. This is how we put the sword away. And then we just pick and choose parts and assemble them into different katas. This is exactly how languages are, this is how systematic languages are structured. And thankfully, Japanese is very systematic. So if you can overcome, especially verb transformation, which is the hardest part of the Japanese language, then the rest of it is relatively easy. Yeah, I think so. I mean, you guys, for example, Constantina, Effie. I know, Effie, you were already learning some Japanese, but you guys have come miles quicker, faster than I did learning Japanese, because I learned the traditional system which is kind of prescribed by books like this and other books, which start off by teaching you how to make sentences and say things like, hello, my name is Andy, I like cheese, which isn't much use if I don't like cheese.
I'll bring you some.
And just kind of learning verbs, just learning lists and lists of verbs without actually understanding what the rules were. So later on in year 7, you find out really that there are some fundamental and pretty basic rules about group 1 verbs, and there are even simpler rules for group 2 verbs, and then you think, oh God, why did I spend all that time learning all that stuff? I could have just learned the rules. Yeah.
Oh, I saw a video of a guy, American guy, was making a fun video that he goes to Japan and he goes to this restaurant, and the only things that he says is his name, where he's coming from. I like sushi, and the waitress was like, yes, but what do you want me to? He continues. I was like, I feel you, man. I cannot feel you.
It's because if you go with friends and you're the one that knows a bit of Japanese, they throw you in front. And everything you can say is like, my name is Effie. I like it.
Watashi wa 30 歳です. I'm 30. 飲み物は何にしますか? 私はイギリスに住んでいます. 日本の女性が好きです.
Well, if you say that, you're perfect. Unless you get embarrassed and, okay, what do I say now?
It depends if it's a waiter or a waitress, really.
Oh.
If you just say to a waiter, I like Japanese girls, then you're wasting your time, really, aren't you? Okay.
So I have a quick question
Sure.
that I'm hearing very often. The bokwa is for me, I. It's only used for men.
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm listening in this podcast, and he always uses bokwa, and never watashi.
Yeah. It's, I mean, apologies to the guys here. In this lesson, you're basically learning feminine Japanese, because this is how Japanese women speak. They speak correctly. They speak grammatically correctly and politely. And for now, that's all you need to do. if you speak like this, then you'll be told that you speak Japanese well. If you speak like a kind of a typical Japanese guy speaks, people will say you speak slightly inappropriately. Yeah, depending on the situation. Yeah, so unfortunately, boku is kind of reserved for guys, but Constantino, nobody could mistake you for a man. You could always try breaking the mold and using boku and see if people object. If they say, no, it's just for boys, just say, screw you. Language for all, man.
Such a sexist thing to do.
Well, exactly, yeah. Exactly. Okay, any other questions, guys? Cool, we're going to go back to this screen again, and I'd like you to do, and I'm going to ask you to do these on the hoof, on the spot. So let's start with Nathan, and we'll work upwards. Let's go to group 2 this time. So again, make the infinitive, the te form, the polite, potential, experience, obligative, passive. This list is on the right, by the way, guys, in case you haven't seen it. And then Nathan, can you start with to show, please?
What was the verb?
Miseru.
Miseru. Miseru. Misete.
Good.
Misete. Misemas.
Good.
Misemas. Mise. Get the potential.
Yeah.
Miserareru.
Good. Experience.
Experience. Miseta koto ga arimasu.
Good. The obligative.
Obligative. Mise na kereba narimasen.
Good. And the passive.
Miserareru.
Yes, good. Constantina, to decide. Are you muted, Constantina? Fucking Zoom.
because sometimes I'm using the space bar, sometimes I'm using the enter. It's like okay, to decide. Kimeru?
Kimeru, good.
Kimeru, okay. Kimeru, kimemasu. Kimete.
Good.
Kimerareru.
Good.
Kimeta koto ga arimasu. Kimenakereba narimasen.
Good.
Kimeraremasu. Passive as well.
Very good. Excellent. And Sophie, to begin.
Hajimeru.
Hajimeru.
Hajimeru. So, Hajimemasu. Hajimete.
Good.
Hajimerareru.
Good.
Hajimeta koto ga arimasu.
Good.
Hajimenakereba narimasen.
Very good.
And hajimeraremasu.
Very good. Excellent. Well done. Perfect. Tachi, how about to open? You there, Tachi? Your internet's a little bit unstable, isn't it? Yeah, it's okay.
I didn't hear my name, sorry.
Oh, that's good, no problem.
Akeru?
Akeru, good.
Akete?
Good.
Akemasu?
Yes.
Akerareru?
Yes.
Aketa koto ga arimasu?
Yep.
Akenakereba narimasen?
Good.
Akeraremasu.
Very good. Excellent. Well done. John, to to exit. There we go.
It was the verb?
Deru.
Yeah.
Deru.
So, dete.
Good.
Demasu. Derareru.
Good.
Detta koto ga arimasu.
Yeah.
De nakereba narimasen.
Yeah.
Derareru.
Very good. Excellent. Effie, to receive, but not moral, but the other one, the group 2 one.
Wait.
Like the beginning of the word reception. Oh yeah.
It's not kudasaru.
No, ukeru. Ukeru.
Ukeru. Okay. Ukeru. So ukete.
Good.
Ukemasu. Ukerareru.
Good.
Uketa koto ga arimasu. Ukenakereba narimasen.
Good.
Ukerareru.
Very good. Okay, excellent. Well done. Perfect. Luke, to get off. That's to get off a vehicle rather than get off with somebody.
Oh, okay. Noru is get on.
Yeah.
All right, but get off is.
Okay, so if you think of the mass form, there's an easy way to remember it. To get on is norimasu. To get off is orimasu. Norimasu, orimasu. Yeah.
Oreru is.
Oriru.
Oriru. So infinitive. Oriru, orete.
Orite.
Orite. Orimasu.
Good.
Orirareru.
Good.
Orita koto ga arimasu.
Yeah.
Ori nakereba narimasen.
Good.
And orirareru.
Very good. Perfect.
Oriraremas.
Well done. Good. And finally, Yanis, to give. This is ageru.
Ageru. Okay. Ageru. Agete.
Good.
Agemasu.
Yes.
Agerareru.
Good.
Ageta koto ga arimasu. Agena kereba narimasen.
Very good.
Agerareru.
Very good. Perfect. Well done. Cool. Good. Okay, guys, your one thing I won't do is spend your time online going through these verbs, telling you what these are in Japanese. So if you want some decent homework, just grab a verb book or just grab this slide and just learn all of these. Just learn them parrot fashion. There's no other way to do it. You can put them into context. You can make sentences with them. So you can say, ashita tomodachi ni aimasu. Ashita tomodachi ni aimasu. Raishu Tokyo ni ikimasu. Kino Luke-san to hanashimashita. Ima bus o matte imasu. Konya mama ni yobimasu. Ashita hon o yomimasu. Just do whatever you have to do to get these in your head. Just learn these parrot fashion. Yeah. Parrot fashion means just by repetition, guys. Just repeat and practice and exercise. Do the same thing with adjectives. I'm not going to spend time teaching you all the different adjectives. That you can do this yourself. Find the adjectives, learn them. Okay, let's move on. Everybody okay? Right, let's see. Where was the special assignment? Can't do that yet. Sorry guys, I'm just going to find the lesson which has got some stuff in it. Ah, here we go. That didn't work. Okay. Guys, I'm going to assign you a number. No, there's another way of doing this. No, guys, I'm going to assign you a number. I'd like you to find the number in the list, and I'd like you to translate that sentence. Okay, I'm going to randomly assign you numbers. So just listen to your own. I'm going to say it quickly so that other people don't memorize your number. Okay, so it will be Luke 16, Effie 12, John 3, Tachi 7, Sophie 14, Constantina 13, Nathan 6, and Yanis 2. Ah, not this. Just a second. Sorry. This one. Okay. So find your sentence. Write it down. I can make this slightly larger if possible. Just a second. Is it better?
I need to see.
Down or?
Yes, down.
Oh, sure.
One more. So I don't say the number. Okay.
You sure you're reading your Roman numerals right? I know it seems funny asking a Greek person about that, but
Oh.
What number were you, Sophie?
Okay, just lower it. Okay,
oh, okay.
You're right. It was so small previously, and I was trying to find my.
Okay.
Okay, you're right. Oh, sorry.
Has everybody written down their sentence now? Okay.
No.
Oh, no, did you say?
Yeah, I have the half sentence.
There we go.
Oh my goodness, I'm a problem.
Take our sentence, right?
Just take your sentence, yeah.
Just our own sentence.
Yes. Yeah. Got it? Have you got yours, Sophie? All good? You're muted at the moment, Sophie. You're muted, Sophie. I can't hear you.
I'll take a photograph. Wait.
Okay. You only need one of them. It's only one
yes,
sentence.
The one. It's a long one.
Oh, okay.
Wait, I have to find it first.
Which one? What was your number again, Sophie?
Okay, I got it.
Okay, I could have sent it to you on text. Okay.
Just Translating? What are we doing?
Yeah, just translate it. Just translate it, please. Okay, guys, all done? A tu finiti, Constantina? See? Was that correct, what I just said?
Finito.
Ah, finito. Did you say a tu finito or just finito?
Hai finito.
Hai finito. Hai finito?
See? I think it was either I did it wrong or it was too easy. I think I did it wrong.
This is, I mean, you're at the ASAHI class, so it's supposed to be fairly simple sentences in comparison to the kind of devil's language that you have to translate on Sundays, and the Japanese pornography movies that you're translating.
Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, we
Sunday class. Come to Sunday's class. Yeah, we have.
Gonna have so much fun.
We have we read through the scripts from Japanese porn movies and translate it.
We actually reach over 200 verbs because I'm writing them all down. 200 verbs.
One more time, Constantina.
We've reached almost 200 verbs.
Verbs? Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure I've missed a lot during lessons if I'm not wrong.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, you kind of learn on the job, really.
Now turn it to kanji, Constantina.
Yeah. I'm gonna once we finish this, I'm gonna ask you guys to listen to me complaining about 20 kanji, by the way. It's too slow. It's too slow. It's like, I want to move on to the next section. It says, no, you have to wait for one day before we do the next session. It's like, oh, come on. I'm in lockdown. I've got nothing else to do with my life. Okay, let's start with Effie. Would you like to go first?
Okay. So I had the 12. It was, I had once played it.
You have to guess what it is.
What? Really?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
You have to just say the Japanese.
Guys? I said it already. Oh, sorry.
No, I think I blanked them.
Shit. I didn't get the game. Sorry. So, shamisen no hiita koto ga arimasu.
Hiita koto ga arimasu. Okay, so let's jump to your next person. John, what does Effie just say?
Have you played the shamisen?
There's no, I didn't hear a ka at the end.
So I have the experience of playing the shamisen.
Yes, I have played the shamisen, but we call it a piano. Okay, John.
So, kino gogo no yonji ni.
Sorry, a bit slower. I sometimes fall over my typing. Kino.
Gogo no yonji ni.
Yonji ni.
Dorobo ni.
Dorobo ni.
John-san no kuruma ga.
No kuruma ga.
Nusumaremashita.
Very good. Maremashita. So the only little correction, John, is kino gogo no. This is yoji. Yoji. Ni. Yeah. Okay. Tachi, can you Luke, was that just a general question or did you want to answer? You're muted, Luke.
Do you need the no?
No, not really. No, gogo yoji. This is actually better like this. Yeah, you're right. Tachi, can you translate this?
昨日午後4時に yesterday afternoon 4 o'clock. 泥棒に the thief, the car of Johnson, sorry, the car of Johnson was stolen by a thief.
Very good. Perfect. Well done. Tachi, it's your go.
今週もっと寒くなりましたね。
Can you just say it one more time? You broke off again.
今
It's always,
週が
so it's always at the wrong part. Konshuga. Okay. Konshuga.
今週がもっと寒くなりましたね。
はい。なりましたね。はい。And Constantina, can you translate?
This week it's very cold, isn't it? Became very cold.
Yeah. Became very cold, didn't it? Very good. Constantina?
学生に問題が答えられました。
So we can read it one more time. I'm a bit slow typing.
学生に問題が答えられました。
答えられました。はい、ありがとう。Nathan? Are you muted?
I don't know what mondai is.
Mondai is problem or question.
学生に問題が答えられました。
And 答える is
to
answer.
ask, is it? Or to
it's
answer?
to answer. To answer, yeah.
Student answered the problem, or the problem was answered by the student.
Right, yeah. Problem was answered by the student. Oops, answered by the student. Well done. Good. And Nathan?
Okay, so I will preface this by saying I did it wrong.
Okay, good. I shall type it wrong then.
Nice. Moshi hayaku unten o shinakattara.
Hayaku. Sorry, can you read it again? I'm slow typing.
Hayaku unten o shinakattara.
Shinakattara.
And then this is the bit I think I did wrong. I said mikomi no shinu ga arimasu.
Mikomi no shinu ga arimasu.
Yeah.
Okay. Yanis, pick the bones out of this one.
Okay. I understand almost nothing.
Okay, good. Me too.
Same.
So I think, Nathan, I think this should have been Moshi hayaku unten shitara. If you drive quickly. Is that the original question? The original sentence?
If you drive quickly, yeah.
Yeah. And then, so next the problem is there's a possibility of dying, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so mikomi.
Mikomi apparently means possibility.
Okay. Yeah, so the word I was actually so this is kind of right then, but you'd have shinu mikomi ga arimasu. And so in place of mikomi, the word that I would usually use is, but maybe mikomi is fine, is kanose, which means possibility. So sorry, not mokomi, mikomi or kanose ga arimasu. Okay, Yanis, would you like to try this?
Okay, I think that if you drive fast,
good.
There is a possibility of dying.
Yes, well done. Good. Of dying. Excellent. And Yanis, your one?
Samui desu kara.
Samui desu kara.
Watashi to
Hey.
doa o shimemasu ka?
Ah, shimemasu. Huh. I know what this was now, but so I think this is Yanis, what this should be is this first part is correct. Samui desu kara. This is perfect.
Okay.
And then what you're actually doing is asking somebody a favor. So this needs to be in the te form. Doa o.
Doa o shimete kudasai.
Very good. Exactly. Yeah. Good. And Sophie, can you translate this?
Sorry, may I ask something?
Sure. Of course.
The sentence before is right this way.
This actually means, if I translate this directly, it's because it's cold. Will you close the door with me?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But grammatically is correct.
Yeah, but grammatically it's correct, but it means something completely different.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Luke, there's a Hilda behind you. Don't look round. Don't look round. She's looking at you very strangely. Okay, Sophie, go ahead.
If I guess that it's if you're cold, you can close the door, please.
Not if you're cold, but
when you.
Samui desu kara.
When you become cold.
No.
When you're cold. Because you're cold.
Because it is cold.
And then? Please close the door.
Yeah, please close the door. Good. And then Sophie, your turn.
Okay. Natsu yasumi no aida ni. No aida ni. Okay. Kono sugaku no hon wa gakusei ni yoku yomaremasu.
Very good. Yomaremasu. That sounds like a question I once set before. Luke.
During the summer holiday, this math book is often read by the students.
Very good. Very good. Well done. And Luke, you're going.
Hosoi makiwara wa.
Makiwara wa.
Kiri yasui desu. But then I should
have a little condition at the beginning.
Te ga yawaraka. Why do I always get these long?
Well, this time it was purely by random chance, so it's just that you're unlucky.
This is yawara na.
Yawara nakattara. That doesn't mean anything. This is yawara kattara.
Yawara. Oh yeah.
Yeah, this is correct.
Yawarai. Yes.
Yawarakai. Yawarakai.
Yawarakai.
Sorry, it's wrong there. Yawara. Sorry, yeah, it's yawara kakattara.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, sorry. Yawara kakattara.
Hosoi makiwara wa kiri yasui desu.
Good. And Effie?
The more syllables you add to this word, the more difficult it gets.
It could have been not flexible.
It's all yawara kakattara.
Yeah.
What is that? So if you, is it something with soft?
Yes.
But if you strike, if
you
have
are
soft hands, if you have soft grip, I guess.
Yep, good.
No, if you're soft in the
hand with
head.
your cream. This thing, I know makivara what it is, but I don't know the English translation.
We call it a
Something that you
makiwara.
strike on.
We call a makiwara in English.
Yeah,
It's
also
makiwara.
okay.
Yeah.
So this thing makivara is easy to cut.
Yes, very good. Well done.
So you put your creams on, guys. And
I don't think it's not this kind of soft. Yeah. Okay, that was really good, guys. Well done. How much time we got left? Got time for a little bit of hiragana practice, shall we? Oh, do you guys want some homework?
Always.
Always. Okay. Let me just chuck some of these questions up onto this event. I'll put them on this event now. Just these ones here. This week's homework. Nathan, you're one of the few people that actually kind of contacts me directly about Japanese questions. So if you ever want homework, just badger me. I only set it kind of randomly, but I'm quite happy to give you some exercises to work on.
Nice.
Okay, I've posted this homework on this event. Okay, let's now just spend 10 minutes doing our hiragana.
I actually have to jump off now. So
okay, sure.
Osaki ni shitsurei shimasu.
Very good. Osaki ni dozo. Kiyosuke kudasai. Otsukaresama deshita. Otsukaresama deshita. Okay, give me a second, guys. I'm just going to mute myself.
Going to drink osake?
Look, say hi to Hilda from me. Because she cannot hear me, I'm guessing.
I can hear you. I can hear you. And I can see you.
Hi, Hilda!
Stop tormenting me. Oh, Hilda. Hey, Hilda. Okay, so let's just like this one. Okay, this week we are on the syllables which begin with the letter K. Sounds like an episode of Sesame Street, doesn't it? Okay, so the first one, ka. This comes from this fairly simple kanji, which means addition or adding. And it's tempting to write this with a little kind of insignificant stroke here, but actually this should dominate the right side of this square. So that you can see I've got this quadrant, I've got this semi-square here. This should really dominate that. So if I just do it in pen first, starting, let me just look at it first. Starting here, slight curve up across and down, and then sweep up, and starting quite high, come across and down. And then make this large with some space here. Okay, leave some space. So if I now do this with a brush. Something like that. I hate ka. It's my bête noire. Okay, we've done it 2 or 3 times, guys. If you can show me. Okay. Okay. Okay, guys, just look. Look back at the screen a second. So I make this mistake as well, and I've made the same mistake for many, many years. But try to. Give me a second. I do this in really, really obviously. I draw my square first. Okay, so use the left side 2 squares, these 2 here, to fill up with this part of the character, and then leave plenty of space and make, so this should be slightly longer really. Leave some space here, and then do this large like this. This is supposed to represent this entire rectangle on the original character. So you can really kind of expand this, be a bit bigger. Not that long actually, but let me do it with a brush over the top. Like this. Yeah, that's good. Tachi? Good, good, good.
The last 2.
Okay, it's good, Luke, but this mark on the right needs to be a little bit further away from the main body on the left. So just try and squeeze the main body slightly more to the left. Leave a little space. You'll understand why when we come to do katakana. That guys, what does this say?
Ga.
Ga.
Hiragana.
Right. That's better, Luke. Much nicer. But be easy if you're, especially if you're using a brush. This can end up looking like hiragana ka, but it's katakana ga. So if you make this, if you get into the habit of making this small, it's not sure whether or not that says ka or ga. So this first stroke, this one here, this needs to be large. Shouldn't resemble the dakuten. Let's see. Okay. Okay, good, Constantina. Keep that right stroke large though. Yeah. Okay. Should we move on to the next one, guys? You only have to do it 2 or 3 times, it's okay. Let's go on to ki.
It's a difficult one.
Ka is horrible. I also agree. So this is the original kanji for ki, means machine or moment, and thankfully it's very much simpler in the kana. And we start this by doing these 2 parallel strokes first. So starting from here, we go slightly up, and then this is parallel. And from here, come slightly diagonally to the right, and then sweep off. Then land and come across. So if I do this with a brush, sweep off, land, and stroke. I would copy the pen one if you have an option, guys. The pen is better than the brush in this case. And the pen is mightier than the sword. Especially if you stick it in their eyeball. Okay, good, Effie. Yeah, good, nice, Constantina. Effie, I would make your first one on the left is the best one because you've this downward stroke. Yeah, this one, the downward stroke, it should be slightly diagonal. Yeah, really nice, Tachi. Good, Yanis, really good, really nice. Well, good. Come on, Sophie, show me yours. Show me yours. Really nice. Excellent. Good. Yeah, good. Nice, Luke. Good, John. Really good. John, just if you can make this, even with a pen, you see this little stroke away here. Just make that a little bit more obvious because as you can see with the semi-cursive script, this is actually joined. Just make that a little bit obvious. Okay, let's move on to the next one, shall we? Next one is ku. Ku means a long time, or a period of time. And it's already a fairly simple kana. You can see the hiragana is equally simple. So what we should do though is make sure that this part and this part are vertically aligned. So this is basically symmetrical along this plane. If we want to make it look pretty, we can make this a little bit curvy in and a little bit curvy out. But equally straight is fine as well, but curvy is a little bit more correct for this. Okay, let's have a look. Okay, nice, Tachi. Good, Constantina. Excellent, Effie. Good. Nice, John. John, just make sure that let's see. Let's compare these. I didn't do a good job of this myself, to be honest. But with these really simple ones, it's quite important to use the area as much as possible. So you can see actually on the printed version, the font is actually used up almost from the top to the bottom of this square. So what you don't want is to kind of make, if I write, if I wrote kiku, like to listen in hiragana, what I don't want to do is to make it look significantly smaller than the ki. I want this to be basically the same size, really. Nice, Yanis. Like your second from the right is really good. Yeah, the one on the left is really nice. Good, Luke. Excellent. Okay, let's move on to ke. Ke is Spanish for, I'm sorry, Mr. Forty, I didn't understand. So this means, this is ke as in to measure or to weigh. And again, we're going to dominate the left side of the square with this character and the right side of the square with this character. The tops are more or less aligned, but the bottom stroke of the last one can flow off a bit more. And I also found out that this part, you can see, is longer than this part. So when I draw this, starting from here, slightly to the left curve and sweep up. Do the horizontal stroke first. This is quite a wide horizontal stroke, going very slightly up. Go to the top, maybe here actually. Down and curve, sweep to the center. Okay. Effie, you don't look very pleased with yourself. So look, that's pretty good actually. Your second from the right is really nice. Let's see, Tachi. Really good, excellent, good, nice. Nice, Yanis, really good, beautiful. Let's see, Constantina. Good, yeah, that's fine. Just, Constantina, just make this horizontal stroke here a little bit longer. So especially the left part of it needs to be longer than the right part of it. But John? Cool. Okay. Nice, Luke, your last one looks really nice. Yeah, good, Sophie. Sophie, just Sophie, just be careful not to crowd these two close together. So make sure you can see there's a little bit of space in here. Try and keep that space. Okay, let's move on to the last one. Doesn't sound like the piano is still going. Okay, last one is ko, which comes from onore, which means myself, means me. And you can see, again, this is a fairly simple kanji. So the resultant hiragana is also quite simple. There are a little bit of rules to this though. So this, if you remember when we did I, the letter I, there was a joining these together. We have a similar join here as well. And better that the top stroke is shorter than the bottom stroke, okay, as you can see here. So starting from the top, go across, sweep back, land, then a strong stroke across which stops rather than sweeps. Okay, let's see. Effie looks good, Effie. A quick look, closer look. Wait, sorry, Effie, can you show me again? Yeah, really nice. Good. Excellent. Really good. Nice. Your last couple look really good. The ones on the bottom right. Yeah. Nice, John. Looks really good. Brush makes a difference, doesn't it? Good. Tachi, really good. Nice. Nice, Yanis. You're natural, I can tell. Good, Sophie. Nice, nice. You can tell who are the artists in this classes. People who just managed to kind of do it perfectly all by themselves. You bastards. I spent years trying to get this good and you can do it in a couple of weeks. Okay, last exercise, guys. Last exercise. So, oh, sorry, let's have a look. Yeah, nice. Just make the bottom stroke a little bit longer, a bit wider than the top stroke there. Emphasize that. Okay, guys, last exercise is this. So you should have no, Aiu e o and kakiku keko. So I would like you to write in hiragana this sentence. That park over there. In Japanese, of course. In hiragana. That park over there.
I have it written on my paper.
Oh, okay, write it again. It's all good practice. Okay, maybe Tachi, I can give you a different one. Okay, Tachi, how about this? In casual language, will you go? You might want to check the spelling of park, guys, if you don't want to make the same mistakes as the senior group. Let's see, Constantina. Coin. Chigaimasu. It's a mistake, Constantina. Iku ka? Hai, so desu ne. Good. It's wrong, Constantina.
What was the mistake?
The spelling of park.
Oh.
Mata kayo? You done it, Effie? Masaka. Iku. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I was thinking actually. Tachi was iku ka? Very good. Excellent. Come on, Effie. Come on, Effie. You done yet? You finished?
I showed you already.
Did you? Can you show me again? I didn't see it. Sorry, I must have missed it. Oh, sorry, I was mixing up you for Tachi. One more time, Effie. Sorry, can you show me again? Coin. Hey, okay, there's coin. Luke, sorry, that's the spelling mistake.
I've got to.
Sorry, John, that's also a spelling mistake. That's better, Constantina.
How about this?
So this. Yep, that's it. That's good. I'm not sure you can do that in Japanese.
Harold's work in Japanese as well.
How you doing, Sophie, Yanis, John?
I don't know what my spelling mistake was. So.
It's the word for park.
Cohen.
Yeah, it's not Cohen, it's Cohen.
Cohen. Okay. Cohen. So.
The kanji is very complicated.
Isn't it? Yeah, especially. You mean the N of Cohen?
Yes. Soil, mouth, everything.
Yeah. It's the word for niwa. Ko-u-en. Hai, so desu. Yeah, I had to actually niwa. This N is one of the basic it's fairly early on in the kanji education system, so you have to learn it quite early. But even you're muted at the moment, Constantina. Even the stroke order is quite tricky. It's not the stroke order you think it is.
This one, niwa.
Yes, that one.
Yes. 40, yes.
Come on, Yanis, Sophie. Chop, chop.
I know it took me 1 year. Oh,
No, no, no.
No, no.
No, kouen. So koen is kou, not ko, kou. Koen.
It's with
U.
ko.
Yeah. Kouen. Come on, artists.
Kouen.
Koen hates all this.
Okay, hi.
Yeah, good. Come on, Yanis. What you got? Come on, Yanis. Let's see.
No.
Did we change the exercise now?
No, we're still waiting for Yanis to finish Koen because he's an artist. He wants to spend the next 3 months doing it and then putting flowers around the letters. Well, I'm really excited. The expectation is really up now. Oh, you're muted, Yanis. Sono ko. Okay, we've got sono. We haven't done so yet, but I don't mind.
I don't know the N.
Okay. So, didn't you do this last week? I'll tell you what, Yanis, as time is ticking, can you look from your study for last week? And then you can practice it for the whole afternoon if you wish. Yeah. Okay, thanks guys. お疲れ様でした.
thank you.
また日曜日か来週また会いましょう。楽しみにしてます。
ありがとうございます。
ありがとうございました。良い週末を。じゃあね。
またね。
またね。バイバイ。